Stop being kind. Ladies and gentlemen, we are taught from childhood that kindness is a virtue. We are told to be nice, to be polite, to always put others first. But today I stand before you with a different message. Stop being kind. Stop being kind to people who only remember you when they need something. Stop being kind to those who disrespect you, disregard your feelings, and take your love for granted. Stop being kind at the cost of your own peace. I have seen people bend over backward to make others happy while breaking themselves in the process. I have seen souls that shine so bright dim their own light just to make others comfortable. Why? Why do we believe that kindness means suffering? Kindness is beautiful, but only when it is balanced with wisdom. If your kindness is making you invisible, if your kindness is silencing your voice, if your kindness is allowing people to walk all over you, then it is not kindness, it is self-sabotage. There comes a moment when you must choose yourself. A moment when you must realize that being kind does not mean being a doormat. That being available for everyone leaves you empty. That sometimes walking away is the best way to show love to yourself. Kindness without boundaries is self-destruction. We grow up hearing that kindness is a virtue, that we should always be the bigger person, always give more, always forgive. But nobody tells us what happens when kindness has no limits. Nobody tells us that kindness without boundaries is not kindness at all. It is self-destruction. Imagine a candle that burns itself just to give light to others. It glows, it warms the room, it spreads beauty. But what happens when no one protects that flame? It melts away, it disappears. That is what happens when we give endlessly, love unconditionally, and care without pause, without stopping to ask, am I taking care of myself too? Because the truth is, not everyone deserves your kindness. Not everyone values your good heart. There are people in this world who see kindness as a weakness, who take and take until you have nothing left to give. And yet we continue. We keep saying yes when our heart screams no. We keep stretching ourselves thin, believing that this is love, that this is goodness. But tell me, is it truly kindness if it's breaking you? Being kind doesn't mean being silent when people hurt you. It doesn't mean lowering your standards to keep the peace. It doesn't mean pouring all your love into people who only return empty hands. Kindness is powerful, but only when it has boundaries. Because the moment you start choosing yourself, the moment you set limits on how much you give, something magical happens. People start valuing your presence. They start respecting your energy. And most importantly, you stop destroying yourself to keep others whole. Not everyone deserves your goodness. We are told to be good to everyone, to be patient, to be understanding, to give people chance after chance, even when they don't deserve it. We are taught that kindness is a gift and that we should share it freely. But what no one tells us is this: not everyone deserves your goodness. You see, goodness is like water. It nurtures, it heals, it gives life. But if you pour water into hands that refuse to hold it, it will spill, it will be wasted. And so many of us are guilty of this. We keep pouring our love, our time, our kindness into people who don't value it, people who take but never give, people who come to us only when they need something, only when they are lost, only when they have nowhere else to go. And the moment they find what they need, they leave without looking back, without a thank you, without even a trace of gratitude. And yet, we stay. We keep believing that if we just love a little harder, if we just give a little more, they will finally see our worth. But tell me, when will you realize that your goodness is not meant for everyone? There are people who will mistake your kindness for weakness. There are people who will take advantage of your forgiving heart. There are people who will keep hurting you, not because they don't see your pain, but because they know you will never walk away. And that, my dear, is where you must stop. Because the truth is, kindness is a choice. Love is a privilege, and not everyone deserves a seat at your table. Not everyone deserves the warmth of your heart. You are not meant to save those who refuse to save themselves. You are not meant to keep fixing people who only break you in return. You are not meant to carry the weight of others while they walk freely without a care for you. So today ask yourself, who am I being good to? And do they deserve it? Kindness shouldn't come at the cost of self-respect. We are raised to believe that being kind means being selfless. That we must always compromise, always forgive, always put others before ourselves. But what happens when kindness starts costing you your self-respect? What happens when, in the name of kindness, you silence your voice, tolerate disrespect, and allow yourself to be treated as if you don't matter? I have seen people who bend, who shrink, who swallow their pain just to keep others happy. They say, it's okay, I don't mind. But inside, they do mind. Inside, they are breaking. And the world applauds them for being kind, for being patient, for being so incredibly strong. But I ask you today, is it truly strength if it is breaking you? Kindness does not mean accepting apologies that come without change. Kindness does not mean allowing people to walk all over you while you smile through the pain. Kindness does not mean staying quiet when someone disrespects you, just to avoid conflict. Because the moment your kindness demands the sacrifice of your dignity, it is no longer kindness, it is self-betrayal. You see, people will treat you the way you allow them to. If you keep giving, they will keep taking. If you keep forgiving without consequence, they will keep hurting you without remorse. If you keep proving your worth to people who do not see it, you will spend your whole life chasing love that was never meant for you. So I ask you today, what is the price of your kindness? And are you willing to keep paying for it with your self-respect? Tough love is sometimes the real kindness. We often believe that kindness means softness, that love means shielding people from pain, protecting them from consequences, and comforting them even when they are wrong. But real kindness, true love, is not about making life easy for others. Sometimes it is about telling them what they don't want to hear. Sometimes it is about letting them fall so they can learn to rise. Because the truth is, comfort does not always create growth. If you keep holding someone's hand when they refuse to stand, If you keep fixing their mistakes while they keep repeating them, you are not helping them. You are keeping them that no matter what they do, you will always be there to clean up the mess. But tell me, is that love or is that enabling? There comes a time when you must stop cushioning people from the lessons they need to learn. A time when you must stop excusing bad behavior in the name of love. A time when you must look someone in the eye and say, I love you, but I will not let you destroy yourself. I care about you, but I will not let you take advantage of me. I will not stand by and watch you become less than what you are meant to be. Because sometimes, love is not about making people feel good. Sometimes, love is about making them uncomfortable enough to change. Sometimes, the best thing you can do for someone is to walk away and let them face the truth on their own. And yes, they may call you heartless, they may call you cruel. They may not understand your silence, your distance, your refusal to keep saving them. But one day, when they look back, they will see that it was never cruelty. It was the hardest, purest form of love. Your kindness should empower, not enable. Kindness is a gift, a light we share with the world. But what happens when that light is used to blind rather than guide? What happens when your kindness stops lifting people up and starts making them dependent on you? You see, kindness is only meaningful when it empowers, when it gives people the strength to rise on their own. But if your kindness is making others weaker, if it is allowing them to remain stuck, then it is no longer kindness. It is enabling. There is a fine line between helping someone and handicapping them. If you always carry people who refuse to walk, they will never learn to stand. If you always fix their problems, they will never learn responsibility. If you always say yes when they need you, they will never learn how to show up for themselves. And one day, when you are no longer there to hold them, they will not know how to survive without you. True kindness is not about making life easy for others. It is about making them strong enough to face life on their own. It is about teaching them that they are capable, that they are responsible, that they hold the power to change their own lives. It is about saying, I love you, but I will not do this for you. I care about you, but you must take this step yourself. Because love is not about carrying people forever. It is about giving them the tools to walk their own path. So today, ask yourself, is my kindness lifting people up, or is it holding them back? Am I helping them grow, or am I keeping them comfortable in their weakness? Because kindness should not just heal, it should strengthen. It should empower. It should make people believe in themselves, not just in you. Be kind to yourself first. We spend our lives giving love, giving time, giving kindness, until there is nothing left for ourselves. We pour into others without stopping to ask, who is pouring into me? We run to heal the wounds of others while ignoring the ones bleeding within us. And the world calls us kind, selfless, noble. But tell me, how can you give so much to others while leaving yourself empty? We are taught that kindness means putting others first, that love means sacrifice, that the more we give, the more valuable we become. But what no one tells us is this: you cannot keep giving from an empty cup. You cannot save others while drowning yourself. You cannot heal the world while ignoring your own brokenness. And yet we keep saying yes when our hearts whisper no. We keep showing up for people who never show up for us. We keep stretching, bending, breaking, just to make sure everyone else is comfortable. And in doing so, we lose ourselves. We become exhausted, invisible, unappreciated. And we wonder why we feel so drained, why we feel so alone, why the love we give never seems to return to us. But let me tell you something. Kindness starts with you. Love starts with you. You deserve the same patience, the same care, the same forgiveness that you give so freely to others. You deserve to rest. You deserve to walk away from things that hurt you. You deserve to put yourself first. But because you are human. So today I ask you, when was the last time you were kind to yourself? When was the last time you said no without guilt? When was the last time you chose yourself, not because it was easy, but because you finally realized that you too are worthy of the kindness you give to everyone else? Kindness is beautiful, it is powerful, but only when it is given wisely. If your kindness has no boundaries, it will destroy you. If you keep giving to people who do not deserve it, you will be left empty. If your kindness costs you your self-respect, it is no longer kindness. It is self-betrayal. Sometimes, real kindness is tough love. Sometimes the best way to help someone is to stop enabling them. Sometimes the most important lesson you can teach is that they must stand on their own. And above all, kindness must begin with you. You deserve the same love, care, and compassion that you pour into the world. You deserve to say no. You deserve to walk away from those who drain you. You deserve to put yourself first. Not because you are selfish, but because you too are worthy. So today I leave you with this. Stop being kind to the world while forgetting yourself. Stop giving endlessly without receiving. Stop breaking yourself to keep others whole. Because true kindness does not come at the cost of your own well-being. True kindness lifts others while keeping you strong. And when you learn this, when you finally choose yourself, you will see that the world does not lose your kindness. It finally learns to respect it. Thank you.